Helium is the gas that fuels life. This time, we meet with the team that's leading the way. My name is Phoenix, and this is The Newswire. So, Chris and Gengha, what is so exciting about the greater Knappen area?
We've accumulated about 69,000 acres on the Alberta-Montana border. Gengha's team's identified, I think, 10 structures in that property that are highly prospective. She can go into that a little more. But it's got some solid data points from existing wells nearby that give us a lot of confidence for the model that they've developed.
And the geology of the area, it is an area that has all the right geological setting for helium to occur, helium to migrate, helium to accumulate and trap. So that's why it makes a really nice area for that. And in addition to that, we also have a couple of, not just one zone that we are focusing on for the helium exploration, we've got 2 or 3 target zones. And so we are quite excited. So if we don't get one, we have the other 2. So we are very excited about the potential of getting those 3 zones, and excited to see what we get from those wells.
The economics of the individual well are back of the envelope calculations, so that about 20,000 feet per day of pure helium is economic. There's a well from a competitor that's about 5 or 6 miles off of our property that is producing and has been for all of 2021, and it's producing about 55,000 feet a day. It's drilled into zones that are the same as what we're targeting, perhaps a lesser structure, I would think. I think ours are better. So we have both confidence in replicating that result, but perhaps exceeding it significantly.
Yeah, now the key thing over where we have our land is the structural relief that we see in the area. They're not like 5 or 10 meters. Some of the structural reliefs are quite high. So, we are actually testing a different play concept here, a little bit different than what you see in Saskatchewan. Chris talked about there's a well nearby Greater Knappen, but geographically, if you look at where Greater Knappen sits, it's not far from southwest Saskatchewan, where some other helium competitors are drilling, and they just got some of their wells on production recently. And what we are doing in Greater Knappen is a little bit different in terms of the play concept. We are not looking for smaller structures, we are looking for some bigger structures here. So the reward, the risk could be high, but what comes with higher risk is higher reward as well. So that's what's really exciting for us about the Greater Knappen. So what we have in Greater Knappen, so I mentioned earlier, we've got all the right geological criteria that fits in line for helium accumulation. But the other key thing that we have in this area that supports what we are doing in the area is we have gas analysis data from wells that has been drilled. These are old wells that's been drilled, and some DST data that's been taken. They show high helium content, up to about 2% helium. And what's really nice about Greater Knappen is, we talk about the green energy. We are not going for the hydrocarbon-based helium. We are going for the nitrogen-based. So it's got over 90% of nitrogen, and your helium is up to 2% in some zones. Very little methane, so we are going for the nitrogen-rich helium. So that's another thing that's really good about Greater Knappen.
Yeah, and we purposely avoided the natural gas aspect of helium production because for the last decade, natural gas has barely been paying for itself, and we wanted to avoid those capital costs for facilities.
And it's in an area where we do have existing infrastructure. This is an area where it's not isolated. There's a lot of shallow gas and oil development. So you've got infrastructure set in place, which makes it easier for us to go quicker to develop the area. The other key thing in this area is because you've got all this shallow gas, this is an area that exploration has taken place. So there's a lot of 2D and 3D trade data that's available to us. that we are able to go and acquire. And what that does is helps with our risk profile, where we go and pick our locations. So, we are looking for targeting structures. So we want to target the wells in the right area, so the 2D, 3D really helps with that. So that's another benefit of where we are right now. And the other key thing is the leases that we got. We were able to go into an area where we are able to acquire a contiguous land base, and that gives us running room. So we're not just drilling one well and off we go. No, we have one success. We've got land to develop this.
I think if I can speak for a little bit on behalf of Gengha's team, the Canadian database for drilling data is probably second to none in terms of the amount of information that's out there. And that's allowed them to build up this detailed model of helium structures. As that model developed, of course, the rocks don't know where the border is. And so we've taken all that Canadian data and it's led us across the border. And so we're probably 90-10 in terms of split between Montana and Alberta, but it's largely built on Canadian data, which is very high quality and has allowed us to build this property up.
My thanks again to Chris and Gengha. My name is Phoenix, and this is the Newswire.